This country, because of what it stands for, will not stand for your conduct. So let me say this loud and clear. Hatred, bigotry, and violence have no place in the great state of Michigan. If you break the law or conspire to commit heinous acts of violence against anyone, we will find you, we will hold you accountable, and we will bring you to justice. For the past 7 months, I've made tough choices to keep our state safe. These have been gut-wrenching decisions no governor has ever had to make.
That, of course, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer talking about the plot to kidnap and possibly kill her and others that the FBI just broke up. Officials say they arrested 6 people who were trying to rally a militia to snatch the governor, try her for treason, and also storm the Capitol in Lansing to take hostages. Amazing. The FBI said they were doing tactical drills, firearms training, explosives, as well as doing surveillance on Whitmer's summer home, and 7 other people were also arrested by state police. They're accused of conspiring to attack police and actually start a civil war. The feds also say the people planning the kidnapping had strong anti-government views and thought Whitmer's COVID shutdowns violated the Constitution. Plotters even met at demonstrations, including one in Lansing, in support of the Second Amendment. There is no evidence, at least at this point, that these folks were motivated by the president's rhetoric. It is worth noting, however, that they share some of his views. Trump was against Whitmer's actions to stop the spread of COVID in Michigan, tweeting out "Liberate Michigan" at one point. He also wasn't afraid to publicly go after the governor.
And if your state was ever allowed to safely reopen by your governor, who doesn't have a clue, she's like Joe, you would have regained far more than that. Open up your state, Madam Governor. Open up your state instead.
I want to bring in our guest, Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, a Democrat from Michigan. And Congresswoman, I want to talk about a bunch of things, but obviously with this headline dominating the news, what was your reaction? And I'm curious, obviously it shocked all of us, but given the ramped up rhetoric, did part of you say that while shocking, this is maybe not even unexpected?
It's not unexpected. We often use the term dog whistles, that the exact word isn't used, but there is this constant mantra from this administration about dividing us, about one group being bad. I mean, even with COVID, you have blue states and red states, and the red states don't do it right, and the blue states do it right. And we had that unfortunate situation where we did have all of these armed open carries coming to our state and walking into our Capitol, and they're debating whether they're going to ban people with weapons from being in the State House. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I go to Congress and I walk into the Capitol, I know that every person that comes in that building, they're screened. And people are very passionate about issues, and I have no problem with that. Believe in your values and your rights, but that does not elevate to guns. It does not elevate to harm and to diminishing the value of one person over another. This is not the place that's not who America is, and it's not the place we need to be.
Earlier this week, former First Lady Michelle Obama, in endorsing Joe Biden, also spoke about the culture that our current president has promoted. And I want you to take a listen to what she said.
They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation. And they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. So what the president is doing is once again patently false. It's morally wrong. And yes, it is racist.
Just last night, we saw the vice presidential debate, the president tweeting afterwards, calling Senator Harris, among other things, a communist and a monster. I'm curious, do you think he would have said the same thing if she were a white senator?
Absolutely not. We've seen names calling from, unfortunately, the president of the United States, which is beneath the office. It's immature, and it is hurtful. The president doesn't seem to have any remorse for causing harm to anyone. And the sad thing about it is that he has just given energy to this divisive, angry situation that many people are buying into. Uh, we've always had difference of opinions. We've always had Democrats and Republicans, and we've debated it. If you believe in this country, believe in the Constitution, it came from Democrats and Republicans who fought it out and debated their values. But at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be a country that value human life beyond color, beyond social economics. And that's what makes us so unique in the world.
This afternoon, Speaker Pelosi said of the president that he is, shall we say her words, in an altered state right now. She talked openly about being concerned that COVID and steroids are impairing his judgment. And she says tomorrow she's going to discuss the 25th Amendment. I know some have said that this is a political stunt. You know what's going on the Hill. Do people believe that the president right now, in his state of mind and in his compromised condition with the virus, is not all there?
Can you not agree that his behavior has been bizarre? To be hospitalized for a pandemic virus of COVID and to leave, put on clothes, get in a car just to ride up and down the street and wave at people. Really? I mean, is that bizarre? Is that rational thinking? And then you're the president of the United States. And then to have that display on the steps when he came home, standing there as if I am here, I am strong, I'm what. Mr. President, you're sick, get well. That's all America wants. We want our president to be healthy. You have all this medical care around you. And, you know, the fact that the medical people are saying, well, we're trying to relay the optimism. You're not weak, Mr. President. If you have an illness, you're human. You have the best medical care. Isolate yourself. Do not infect anyone else because you have had so many people around you infected. Care about that. Stay out of the Oval Office and get well. I mean, it's just bizarre. And then the tweeting storms, which has been going on forever, but my goodness, aren't you supposed to be under medication and healing? Why are you tweeting about national policy?
Finally, Congresswoman, on the same day that Chairman Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, said that if we do not get major stimulus put back in this economy, there will be tragic consequences. The president said, no more talking about it. We'll deal with it after the election. Can you try and put a human face in your district as to how bad people are hurting, and if the stimulus money doesn't come, just how much of a bad spot some folks could be in if they're not already?
When we talk about the airline industries, when you talk about the fact that we're going to put money in to save the Postal Service, all of these things are happening. But you know that thing about the extra money for unemployment? Some businesses talked to me and they said they had a problem with it. But I can tell you, so many people walked up to me, Congresswoman, I can't work. But the fact that I have gotten that extra money has kept me alive. It has kept me an ability to pay my bills, to keep housing. The fact that some people couldn't pay their rent and we were planning for subsidies so that they can get through this till the point that they can go back to work. It's just so much that is being held up by a temper tantrum, or maybe he is unstable, because why would you just put people on hold until after the election?
It's a very good question. Congresswoman, I appreciate you making the time for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Everyone be safe, wear your mask.
Good advice. When we come back, we'll have a story that I don't think is getting the attention it deserves. When we talk about immigration and the crackdown by the administration, well, when we come back, we'll put a human face on it. A reporter from Reuters joins us to do just that, profiling 4 families here and how it's destroying people's lives.